welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, it's weird where your former players end up. It's a bit like leaving school and within 5 years, hearing that your classmate who used to eat chalk is now a CEO at Apple. It's like a geography teacher hearing that his prized pupil now picks up bags of cat piss for a living. So simply, what I'm going to do is take a look at every Premier League club and find your former player who used to play for your club many moons ago. Let's see which former players just made the weirdest transfer move this summer. This is a transfer you would have never predicted for your player back when they used to play for you. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Olivier Giroud to AC Milan. Yeah, this is weird because Chelsea have broken their brain. Does somebody want to tell me why Thomas Tuchel seems to think he's above the level of Olivier Giroud? The Frenchman scored 11 goals from the bench last season, including a bicycle kick at Atletico Madrid Stadium. The guy scored nearly 40 goals for the club. And I know he's 34, probably has grey chest hair, and probably has to wake up 6 times a night to go for a piss. But still, this is a guy destined to end his career as France's record goal scorer. And Chelsea don't exactly have an embarrassment of confident strikers right now, so selling your plan B for less than £1 million, that is so disrespectful, I might actually sneeze blood on my toast. This is also a weird transfer because AC Milan already have a technically superb static target man, and his name is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who turns 40 this year. I get bringing in another striker, but would you not want someone a bit younger than 34? Aston Villa, Gianluigi Gollini to Tottenham. Well, this will be a bit weird for Aston Villa fans. I just know some of them are probably going to be drinking sweaty bathwater this month, anything to make sense of what has just transpired. We all remember Gianluigi Gollini at Villa Park. He played 20 games in the Championship. The man made so many mistakes in England, I wouldn't be surprised if he also got a box of Cocoa Pops pregnant in the shower. He's since reinvented himself as an Atalanta #1. You know, an Atalanta team who just finished 3rd in Serie A, above Juventus and Ronaldo. So at the age of 26, agreeing a loan deal to trade regular Champions League football to instead sit on Tottenham's bench, relegating Joe Hart to what? 3rd choice goalie? The whole thing stinks like a plate of cow diarrhea. Why would Gollini want this? Why would Tottenham? It makes no sense. Brentford, Alex Pritchard to Sunderland. Let's be honest, when Brentford fans had a 21-year-old Alex Pritchard on loan from Tottenham back during the 14-15 season, they thought they were looking at a future England midfield star, right? This guy was surely about to replace Gylfi Sigurdsson in the Spurs team. He just smacked home 12 goals in the Championship as Brentford reached the playoff semi-finals. If you'd asked me back then who's going to be the biggest star out of him or Dele Alli, I'd have been picking Pritchard. But now he's 28 and just signed for Sunderland in League One. Lads, I lived in Sunderland. It constantly smells like a donkey's unwashed ball bag. It's a city where dentists clearly don't live. So for Pritchard to wind up in a goldfish bowl filled with puke, playing for a team trying to get promoted at the 5th attempt, you'd have to wonder, when did Tottenham's golden boy suddenly see his ability and confidence morph into wet scrambled egg? Brighton, Fikayo Tomori to AC Milan. Alright, hands up Brighton fans. When you saw Fikayo Tomori stumble onto the park to score an own goal and lose 3-1 at Lincoln City in the FA Cup on his debut in January 2017. Which one of you thought that within 4 years he'd be playing alongside Zlatan Ibrahimovic at AC Milan? Anyone? Because if anyone had dared say that at Lincoln Stadium back then, you'd have been immediately escorted out of the ground and immediately signed up to a frontal lobe lobotomy down the local nut house. It's a strange move by Chelsea though. Cashing in for just £25 million? Can't help but feel that one's gonna bite them in the arse. Burnley, Jon Flanagan, the HB coach. Okay, I could touch on Tom Heaton winding up back at Manchester United, but no. We'll do well to remember Jon Flanagan, the Scouse Cafu who wound up on loan at Burnley 5 years ago in a desperate bid to save his career. He didn't. Sean Dyche clearly thought that his first touch was a crime against humanity and only played him 6 times. Well, now this guy, who went to the World Cup with England in 2014, he's only 28 and just signed for HB coach out the back arse of Denmark, living in the Scandian mountains, probably roasting squirrels over a bonfire, right? Yeah, he's just been signed by his old mate Daniel Agger. Lads, if Agger is expecting the sprightly young hungry right back who nearly won the league at Liverpool, he's going to be very disappointed when he realises that this version of Flanagan moves like his shorts are filled with shepherd's pie. Chelsea, Jon Obi Mikel to Kuwait Sporting Club. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chelsea fans probably assumed Jon Obi Mikel was now living in a cave at the back arse of Bangladesh or something, right? I mean, he's had so many moves. This is a guy who spent 11 years living in West London. So now, like a newly divorced old man, he's hopping beds faster than Russell Brand on Smack. He's since moved to China, Middlesbrough, Turkey, Stoke, and now something called Kuwait Sporting Club. I'm convinced this guy is just doing a semi-retirement backpack world tour. But if that was the case, Will you not make someone more glamorous to live than Middlesbrough and Stoke? I'd rather spend 6 months sharing a caravan with pot-bellied elderly nudists outside the local church in Blackpool than live in either one of those towns. Crystal Palace, Jordan Much to MacArthur FC. Okay, I'm sorry, what is this? Yes, Crystal Palace fans probably tried to smack their head off the fridge several times to ever forget the fact they once employed Jordan Much. You know, it's a bit like you trying to forget the fact that you once licked a homeless man's forehead for food. But I'm sorry, this is a guy who couldn't dislodge James McArthur from Crystal Palace's midfield, and he was then replaced by James McCarthy, and now he's just signed for MacArthur FC. I'm sorry, what? It's some tiny club in New South Wales, but I'm sorry, MacArthur was the reason for your Sellers Park failure. So this, a constant reminder of that. It's like Brad Pitt signing up to a movie called Jolie. You know, when he's in the middle of a crippling divorce? Ridiculous. Everton, Ramiro Funes Mori to Al Nassr. Another bizarre one here. Everton will remember their cult hero defender Ramiro Funes Mori. He was doing well until a knee injury chewed his career apart like a wet Kleenex. Well, he moved to Villarreal in 2018. No complaints there. And now, after winning the Europa League at just 30, has moved to Saudi Arabia with Al Nassr. You know, to go and live in a stranded desert and drink pints of wet cash. Did anyone see this coming? Leeds, Ben White to Arsenal. Pretty simple this. Leeds fans must have their jaws on the floor. Listen, Ben White was a good Paul-playing centre back who helped them achieve promotion while unknown for Brighton, and they did try to buy him for 25 million last summer, but I guarantee not one Leeds fan on the planet would have expected that within a year Arsenal would be paying £50 million for White. 50 million? He's more expensive than Raphael Varane. I mean, what? Leicester, Demarai Gray to Everton. I've already said how weird I think this transfer actually is. Demarai Gray was dumped by Leicester for a reason. He's got the end product of a broken Hoover. I might have understood Rafa Benitez signing Gray for Newcastle, but Everton are supposed to have money now. Lots and lots of money. So paying Bayer Leverkusen £1.6 million for a 25-year-old winger allergic to goals? I mean, what's that all about? All the Leicester fans, they were probably expecting Gray's eventual English return to be to a championship club like Bournemouth, not to be bought by a Champions League winning manager. Bizarre. Next season, Demarai Gray is going to be on the same pitch as James Rodriguez. None of that makes sense. Liverpool, Mamadou Sakho to Montpellier. Mamadou Sakho could have been a cult hero at Liverpool. Make no mistake about it, this wasn't some centre-back flop. No, this is a guy with 29 caps for France. This guy was close to winning the goddamn World Cup. He's PSG's youngest ever captain, played 80 times for Liverpool. Well, after his Crystal Palace nightmare where his body just gave up on him, he's now only 31 and just joined Montpellier on a free. Lads, Crystal Palace paid £24 million for this guy, only to dump him back to France for 2 calippos and a handshake. It's just a bit weird. Man City, Stefan Jovetic to Hertha Berlin. Yeah, this is just sad. Stefan Jovetic was a £25 million move signing for Man City in July 2013. This guy was a Montenegrin wonder kid, about to be the next big thing, right? Well, he's 31 and his last job in football was to try and replace Kylian Mbappe at Monaco. By what? Scoring less than 20 league goals in 4 years? Out in France, utterly hideous. And now he's just moved to Hertha Berlin on a free transfer, to get involved in a Bundesliga relegation scrap alongside Kevin Prince Boateng and being captained by Dedrick Boyata. Another man tossed out of the Etihad like an empty crisp packet. Man United, Memphis Depay to Barcelona. Okay, I'll be honest, I did see this one coming. Before any of the newspapers ever linked Memphis Depay to Barcelona, within about 20 minutes of Ronald Koeman's press conference, I knew that he was gonna try and bring Depay to Spain. Look at my video I did this time last year.
13th, Memphis Depay to Barcelona, 36 million. Yeah, what did I say about Barcelona doing a Dutch experiment? Let's look at the facts. Ronald Koeman has just spent 2 years with Memphis Depay as his goddamn talisman. Depay has flirted with Barcelona in the past, even when he was sticking up the bench at Old Trafford. Factor in the fact he's gone at least 1 round further than Barcelona in the Champions League, and now he's probably bored senseless stuck halfway down the French league. Then yeah, I'm calling it a Barcelona frontline of Depay, Martinez and Messi next season.
Now, Man United fans are probably confused. After ditching him to Lyon in January 2017, did they think Depay's next move would be to go and play with Messi? No, they probably predicted his next move would be to Turkey or somewhere. While at Old Trafford, he was an overpaid, expensive show pony with the work rate of a squash banana. I remember when his mother kept talking up a move to Spain back when he was failing at Man United, and we all squirted milk out of our nose. So the fact he's actually done it, you know what to pay. Fair play. Newcastle, Florian Thauvin to Tigres. I'm confused. What? Wasn't Florian Thauvin the one who got away? The mercurial French winger who quit Newcastle after barely doing anything under the relegation season with Steve McLaren. A guy who went on to win the World Cup with France, rip up Ligue 1 with Marseille, and reportedly be the subject of a £17 million bid from Bayern Munich. Well then, what is this transfer all about? At 28 years of age, in his prime, he just left Marseille on a freebie to go and join Tigres UANL in Mexico. Let me get this straight. You rejected a footballing giant like AC Milan in January. You turned down offers from Lyon, Atletico Madrid, and a contract renewal on the table from Marseille to go and move to Mexico. What a waste. Norwich Ricky van Wolfswinkel to FC 20. Lads, do you remember when Ricky van Wolfswinkel was the Sporting Lisbon hotshot destined for a big club? This guy was scoring 20 goals a season out of Portugal, and so it looked like Norwich had got a coup in 2013 when they paid £10 million for him and he scored in his debut. That was the only goal he'd ever scored for them. But listen lads, this is an utter fairy tale story. This man is 32 years old. Just 2 years ago, Van Wolfswinkel. I know that's a name that sounds like it was created by Roald Dahl. 2 years ago, he underwent surgery for a brain aneurysm detected during a routine scan for concussion. I'm sorry, a brain aneurysm. What an FC Basel. This guy has only scored 2 goals in 2 years. At the age of 32, you'd have just expected him to retire. You wouldn't think he would have any job offers. But to be fair, he's still playing top level football. He's just signed for FC 20 in the Eredivisie. Honestly, for a limp striker who hasn't been capped by Holland in 7 years, that is an absolutely class move for him. Fair play, Ricky. Southampton, Toby Alderweireld, Ohio. This is another weird one, I suppose. 3 years ago, Jose Mourinho was practically ready to crack Ed Woodward's spine over a coffee table to drag Toby Alderweireld through to Old Trafford. He was so desperate to sign him, but now at the age of 32, this former Southampton loanee has finally quit Europe to go and eat a bunch of banknotes out the back as a guitar with Alderweireld SC, wrapping up a £13 million move from Tottenham, leaving the bright lights of North London to go and live on a sandy beach. Bit of a culture shock. Tottenham, Stephen Cocker to Fenerbahce. We might just be witnessing one of football's greatest comeback stories. Stephen Cocker was looking like a monumental sporting failure of David Bentley proportions. A former Tottenham wonderkid centre-back who scored in his debut for England, but 5 years ago was a walking joke. A weird Liverpool loan signing who QPR had to dump on Dundee's hands. After battling with alcohol, depression and gambling addiction, and seeing Dundee reject a club record bid from Rosenborg in 2018, refusing to let him leave Scotland, he could have just packed it in and instead grabbed a part-time job cleaning toilets on IKEA. But no, he's since reinvented himself in Turkey with Altinyaspor, and now at the age of 28, lads, Stephen Cocker is going to be playing European football with Fenerbahce alongside the likes of Mesut Ozil. This man was probably this close to jacking it all in and becoming a local postman, and yet here he is playing in a team with Ozil and playing at a higher European standard level of competition than Tottenham. Fair play. Watford, Ashley Young to Aston Villa. Yeah, so Watford old boy Ashley Young has just signed for Aston Villa. I'm sorry, is this January 2007? Listen, Young has spent the last year of his life rabbiting on about how he wants to return to his former club. It was just that former club being Watford. The guy openly said he would chuck guaranteed Champions League football in the bin just to get himself back to Vicarage Road. The fact that the Hornets got promoted, it all looked like it was going to go to plan, right? And now he winds up at Villa Park instead. Just a bit weird. West Ham, Marko Arnautovic to Bologna. Yeah, so Marko Arnautovic has finally got bored of China. I'm guessing dribbling past semi-pro accountants from Hong Kong must be light work for a Champions League winner like this, even if he did waste his prime years at Stoke. Anyway, back in Serie A after a decade away, he's now playing under Sinisa Mihajlovic, who he almost did work with at Inter Milan, almost, and now he's stuffed in a team with Gary Medel and Aaron Hickey from Hearts. Did anyone see this one coming? Bologna. Sounds like a type of Italian sandwich. Wolves, Wayne Hennessey to Burnley. Wayne Hennessey is 34 years old, and this is only the second permanent move of his career. Bit wild. What's even weirder is that he has nearly 100 caps for Wales, despite being about as reliable as a cardboard toaster. Anyway, clearly this man wants first team football to get himself back into the Wales starting 11, right? Right, well then why would you leave Crystal Palace's bench for Burnley's? If Joe Hart couldn't find a way past Nick Pope, then I'm pretty sure you've got as much chance as Piers Morgan winning Olympic gold in a 100-meter sprint. Anyway, that's it. Let me know, what do you think? What former player has landed a weird move this summer? Let me know in the comments. Would you enjoy the video? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.